Hello friends, I'm Smita Katti and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm part of the Tombow USA design team and all of our team members received a package from Waffle Flower. So I'm going to open my package along with you, show you what I got, and then I'll probably create a few bookmarks or maybe a few cards along the way, and I'll show you the entire process.
Here's what all I received. This is their mini media mat. It's soft, flexible, and it's a smooth surface that you can apply color or watercolor to. I also have some stamps. This is the Waffle Flower's color swatches stamp. I really like the geometric shape of these. This is the tulips by Waffle Flower. I love that the stamp also has the name written on it. That's so easy to organize everything. This is another pretty stamp. This is so beautiful. This one is the Poppy Hawthorn, and look at the typography there. I love this. And finally, I have another flower stamp. This is called Build a Bouquet number 3 set. It has a big bouquet bunch and also has individual flowers if you want to use those instead.
You guys, stamping with black ink just challenges me. I know the procedure, I can do it fine, but I just get black ink everywhere. On my fingers, on the paper, on my markers, on the desk, and I'm just not a happy stamper at the end of it. So I'm gonna do stamping with markers today. This way the image may not be perfect, but it's forgiving and I have fun.
For my stamping and coloring today, I'm going to be using Tombow's dual brush pens. These are water-based pens and I love the colors they come in. But today I'm going to limit myself to just these 12 colors, and I will leave a list of the exact colors in the YouTube description below. To create my cards, I'm using Canton's mixed media paper. I've actually torn a couple of sheets off of my sketchbook and trimmed them down to size 4.25 by 5.5 inches. And for the bookmarks, I've trimmed paper to be 2 inches tall by 7 inches long. So I'm also not going to use a stamping block or anything. I'm just going to flip the stamp over, remove the protective film, and then color right onto it. But before that, since this is a new stamp, it's kind of sticky to the touch. So I'm just going to use an eraser and lightly erase on the surface of my huge stamp. This will just make sure that the marker is easily applicable onto the stamp. Definitely less sticky. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to color with the marker onto the stamp, and then I'm going to press my paper down onto it firmly. You want to use the brush tip for this, and you're almost holding the pen parallel to the stamp, and I'm just coloring the stamp image. You don't have to apply a lot of pressure. It's just a light layer of color on top of the stamp, and that's all you need basically to stamp your image and the design. And before you ask me, this doesn't really harm the brush tip of your marker. So the brush tip looks pretty good, and those little bits that you're seeing on the brush tip are actually the eraser dust that's left over. The blue, I'm just going to go over the leaves. Now you will get a little bit of contamination, like I might put a little bit of blue on the flower, and I'm just going to be okay with it. This is a technique that you have to forgive yourself. It's not going to be perfect. It's going to be imperfectly beautiful. So I have a wooden cutting board here to protect my desk. I'll place the stamp on top and just mist it lightly with 1 or 2 sprays of water. And I have my piece of mixed media paper. I'm going to place it down. Don't move it, even if it's a little bit of an angle, just let it be and press down firmly. Lift, and there you go. You have your stamped image. Something to keep in mind, if you spray it with a lot of water like I did the first time, it'll get blurry and there'll be a lot of mixed colors. But if you spray it lightly with just 1 or 2 sprays, you'll get a nice crisp image that you can color in. And then I'm going to clean my stamp immediately with a damp towel. So I'm going to add some of my other marker colors onto the media mat now. I'm going to use the water brush and start coloring. So my mixed media paper already has color on it. I'm just going to use a little bit of water to spread that color first. So the marker that you've applied to the paper through the stamp, you can paint over it even after a few days. I've tried that before, like I've stamped a bunch of images and then painted into them and colored them a few days later. So that's a fun thing to keep in mind. So I'm going to add some water onto the media mat. And I'm going to pick up the green and just drop it into my leaves. So this way you'll have the blue outline, but the center of the leaves will still be green. So for the flowers, you might see the pink is a little different than the blue. This pink I've used before and I know that it isn't as reactive to the water like the blue was. I'm going to work one flower at a time here, and I just wet this entire flower. Now I'm going to pick and drop more color to it. I'm going to pick this darker pink and just apply it towards the center and towards any areas that I would see a shadow. I'm just going to continue coloring in this manner, and you can watch and enjoy the video. You can see a close-up of it, and once it's dried completely, I'll come and maybe add a background, or I have to fix this little U that I've stamped by mistake, and I'll add a little more details with the marker directly onto the paper. So I have all of this color left on the media mat still, and I like that I was able to mix colors in here, but I'm thinking I'm going to pick up that color with my bookmarks, and this will create a fun background. I have a big blob of brown color here. I'm just going to pick that up with my towel. I don't want that on my paper. So this tulip stamp was it's going to fit in this much area of the bookmark. I'm going to give a background on the top and the bottom. So I'm just going to press maybe the top 1/3 down, smush the color, lift it up, and you get a fun rainbowy color there. That looks good. I'm going to do the same for the bottom 1/3. I'm going to keep the same color area actually. Lift it up. That looks so pretty and soft, right? I'm going to add a few green touches over here. Press down, lift. That is much more vibrant. I'm just using my finger to move the color around while it's still wet. Pressing down my bookmarks. I love the way that came. Okay, I'll repeat that. And rub. Whoops, and lift up. Pretty images, right? Now to color these in, I'm not going to use the mixed media mat this time. I'm going to apply the marker color directly to the paper and paint. I like to paint over the green area first, and then slightly and slowly mix in the blue,
and I let the colors mix on the paper. Applying the marker directly to the paper makes the color so much more vibrant because we're not diluting the color with the water. But since we're painting over them with the water, you still get that watercolor effect, but just with brighter colors. So going back to my first image, the poppy image, this one definitely needs a little bit more color to it, and I need to fix this. If you can't see, I have a half word stamp there, and I'm going to use the Mono Sand Eraser to fix that. And there you have. I've almost erased all of it. And I saw another flaw here, so I'll just go in and erase that as well. So I'm going to use the marker number 403, and this might look scary to some of you, but I've done it before many times, so I'm just going to apply the marker to the paper. Take my water brush and squeeze some water out, and then just use that water to paint. And while the paper is still wet, I'm just going to put my kitchen towel onto it and press it dry. This just mops up all of the excess water and helps dry the paper much quicker than air drying it. So there is a light blue-black background. So because I added so much water to the stamped image, I kind of lost a lot of the definition. I'm just going to go in with these two colors and add some shadow and just create a little more depth to the flowers. I'm going to apply the marker color directly to the paper and then paint over it with some water. So here you go, friends. Here's a close-up of my watercoloring. I really wanted it to look more watercolored, but I also know from experience that I need to stop here. I can go on working on this and then I would have killed this card. This card is not going to come back. So I'm trimming about 1/4 of an inch off. So I like how that looks, so we'll stick with that.
I also now realize I don't have a sentiment on this, so let's stamp that. I like this thank you image here. I use thank you cards more than any other, so I think I'll put that one, and I think over here look nice. Okay, this is a part I usually make a mistake, so let's hope, fingers crossed, that we don't do anything wrong. So I'm going to take my stamp, and this is where all the stamps are. I'm going to flip it over, and I'll use this as my stamping guide. I've pulled a N25, that's a black marker, and just gonna go over it with some black. All right. Put my card back in, and let me see where I want it. And right there. I'm just gonna press down firmly. Because I've not spritzed this with water, I'm just gonna make sure I press down extra firm so I get a sharp image. Alrighty, let's see what happened. Not bad at all. Look at that. I love this. Okay, I didn't spoil the card. And here's a close-up at the card. I actually stamped the sentiment and a card in the image, and this card is ready to be given to someone. Here's a close-up of the bookmarks that we watercolored together. I love the pinks, and I also love the oranges. Such pretty soft colors. I particularly like the background that I was able to get on this. Just adds so much more interest to the bookmark. So thanks so much for spending some crafty time with me today, friends. I hope you enjoy making these projects with me, and let me know in the comments below which of these are your favorite and which of these you actually plan to recreate yourself. I will link all of the supplies I've used down below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and for more information stop by my blog smilingcolors.com. I hope to see you again soon with another video. Till then, happy crafting!